Today's rant will be about smokers. Jesus Christ, why do people still smoke? After over 30 years of scientific information on the dangers of smoking, all the drug and alcohol education programs in schools, hikes of sale prices and etc., I managed to find people whom I went to high school, middle school, and even elementary with, outside of grocery stores smoking cigarettes. Dear Maxwell Doe. Dear Priscilla Doe. I distinctly recall seeing you walking across the stage in the gymnasium during graduation from the DARE program. That is a commitment to yourself to not engage in drug activity, including smoking cigarettes. I don't know what your status is with consuming alcohol, but that is likely to be another rant, in and of itself. What in the name of fuck is it that got you to start smoking cigarettes? Have you not seen the near 2/5 of people, at least in America, who have an unending addiction to cigarettes? The DARE program said that cigarette smoking is an addiction. Nicotine is an addictive substance. Why is that so difficult to understand or remember? In the DARE program, they had taught us about peer pressure, which is the very short bridge that a person crosses on when they are about to smoke a cigarette for the first time. Have you seen the stoma people? If you've seen them when you were younger, which I know you have, they were bad enough that you'd have to leave the living room and face a night of having to put up a pillow wall around your bed. I swear, I was in the same class as some of these kids who I've been seeing since we've all graduated high school. I didn't expect to ever see anyone from school lighting, exhaling, or purchasing cigarettes. What a dumb decision. Not only does it slowly destroy your lungs, it makes the person smell like tobacco, and they carry that stench with them everywhere they go. It's very obvious when someone is a smoker, when they come in a room. Geez, that's going to limit the amount of people they ever engage with or converse with. Too bad there are so many people within the music industry who smoke. There are so many smokers who congregate at music venues. On top of that, if you're standing near them at a concert, you have no chance of not inhaling their cigarette smoke, unless you move the place you are standing or sitting. There's a good chance you're not going to want to do that. Not too long ago, I had a job at Rite Aid as a cashier. By memory, it was around 45% of transactions processed that someone was coming in solely to buy cigarettes. It was one day within the first week of this position that a woman came in asking for a pack or two of her preferred cigarettes. She asked for a pack of Misty Menthol 100s. Everything went well up until I was giving her the change for the $7 or $8 she gave me. She started bitching at me because I had given her the coins and change with the leftover $1 bill. All at once. To be fair, it was only 7 a.m. in the morning and her neurotic presence was dominating my better judgment. And her breath stank of the cigarettes she had already smoked that morning. It looked like she already smoked something else, and it couldn't have been from Rite Aid. When she initially approached me at the checkout counter, she was very aloof, brisk, and demanding for her preferred cigarette pack. For the most part, I was trying to not laugh at her, as she was standing right across from me. Especially with the store manager standing just 3 feet away. She also said, I quote, "You know how I know you're new? Because you gave me the bills together with the quarters and pennies, so it could all fall out of my hand. I have to grip the cigarette pack with one hand and the receipt and change with the other hand, and I don't even have my purse up, you shit." After a 2-second pause, she continued, "You don't fucking hand a customer their change in one load," she said, snarling out of her bleeding black lungs. What a total moronic cunt. For one, I wasn't new to the job at that time. Second, I had the $2 bills under the coins in my palm extended to her reach. I didn't dump the money into or over her hand. Third, why make such a fuss about this? She shouldn't be buying any cigarettes to potentially infect the air where children or domesticated animals could be. Isn't it sad that all these pharmacy retail chains, like Walgreens, like CVS and Rite Aid, give customers the option to buy cigarettes? Before I forget to mention, when I was employed at Rite Aid, they had 4 store managers, not including the manager for the pharmacy section. 3 of the 4 assistant managers were smokers. About 4 or 5 other employees that weren't in managerial positions also smoked, so I would be in the store, working on stocking and display tasks, and intermittently, my coworkers would step outside the front of the store, sometimes in groups, and they would all be smoking. One of those employees even had a cigarette with them casually. I was barely out of high school and already, there were a total of 9 threats to my respiratory health. Jeez, what a jump in danger compared to when I was a student. And I would never see them wash their hands after their cigarette break. Did you know that some smokers smoke half a pack to a full pack of cigarettes a day, and for some people, maybe 2 packs? Depending on the cost of the cigarettes a person buys, they end up paying around $3,000 on cigarettes for a whole year. The average income for an individual in the United States is just over $30,000 per year. That means, around 10% of their income is invested into this filthy habit. Jesus Christ, they could buy 50 video games new with that money, or 200 music albums in a year. Can you imagine how well off and known independent musicians would be if their consumers didn't have a craving for cigarettes? Singers would have better, healthier voices because of this. If you think Marilyn Manson is so bad, just keep in mind that he isn't a smoker. Many of you right-wing Bible-thumping Christians do smoke cigarettes. And how does that one prayer go that you repeat during every church visit each week? But that's certainly not to say that Christians tend to be cigarette smokers. However, generally speaking, smokers tend to have somewhat testy personalities. They are false extroverts because of their dependency. They also tend to be more accident-prone, which I read in a study given from an assignment back in high school. With cars, handling things, and maybe even their own babies. So that isn't safe for the general public. I find this also surprising. I thought this was going to be a thing of the past. And there are numerous smokers out in metropolitan areas. There was one on every corner the last time I went to NYC to look in Nintendo World with two of my friends. Overall, smoking is a complete social impediment, and I'm sick of being made to feel like I'm an asshole for refusing a neurotic cigarette offer and stopping everything I'm doing mid-thought whenever I'm around a friend of a friend who decides to light up a mentholated, environmentally conscious produced cigarette and think of how to breathe without taking in their second-hand smoke. It's time for people to quit smoking, because, if this keeps up, in 20 years, I'm going to be seeing numerous retired people walking around with throat stomas, and it's going to be like getting stung by a bee every day. This is likely to happen due to obesity being a problem in this country as well. But whatever. Welcome to Terror Town.